Hi, and welcome back to another seasonal wrap-up. I am so excited for this one because it means I have done a full year of seasonal wrap-ups. I started off with a winter wrap-up, I've done a spring wrap-up, I've also done a summer wrap-up. Now I get to do a fall reading wrap-up. I was very academically busy and therefore I wouldn't say I read very much at all for me. Comparing it to my other wrap-ups, definitely my worst season, but I didn't read a single book that I did not like. And to be fair, in my previous wrap-up, the job I had meant that I was listening to a lot of audiobooks, and only one of these books was an audiobook this season. But I'm still very excited about it, and because I guess I have like a shorter list of books I want to share that I read, I'm also going to include a TBR for the winter, which is the next season, and I'm going to continue doing these seasonal wrap-ups because I do not read enough in 1 month to film a video about my wrap-up, but I have enough throughout the season that I can film one, right? A couple of months I can have a lot more books. I'm just a slow reader. This is not like something I can just dedicate all my time to, although I wish that I could, but I'm fully in the Christmas, so I tried to make the setup cute. Let's just get started. The first book I read. This almost has its own video. I read this book in the Reading Popular Books video. This is the first book I chose and the first book I read when I got home from Banff. It's 491 pages. It's written by Carissa Broadbent, and this book is about this girl who is the adopted daughter of the ruler of the vampires. Vampires have their own like hierarchies and systems. You can be different types of vampires, but she's the only human that lives in the section of the world dedicated to vampires, right? There's like a human section and then like a vampire section. Everyone's very confused as to what's going on. Her dad, Vincent, is not like a very warm, loving father figure, and she is entering this tournament, and basically the god of the vampires, Nyaxia, if you win the tournament, you get any wish you want granted for you. So her wish is going to be that she wants to share powers with her dad and become a vampire. And the reason that her dad just cannot turn her into a vampire is because that's way too risky and most humans die in the process. If you don't win, you die in the tournament, essentially. That's all it is. And she meets this guy named Rain and his friend that's Akatar. And his friend. His friend has a name. I'm not sure what her name is right now, but so they kind of have to form this alliance because there's lots of trials in the tournament and some of them you need like a team for. So she makes this alliance with them and kind of goes throughout this tournament. Maybe she finds a romance. Who could that be? I'm not sure. This book was so good. I gave it 5 stars. It was really hyped on Instagram for a while, but then I kind of feel like it disappeared a little bit. But seriously, this book is so worth the hype. It's so good. I loved it. The tournament was so creative and well done. A lot of the trials were new to me. I loved it. Great book. It has vampires too, so the next book I read was also by Carissa Broadbent and also is considered part of this series, and that is 6 Scorched Roses. So this book is definitely much shorter. It's 195 pages, and this book takes place in the same world as The Serpent and the Wings of Night, but it is 2 totally different characters, and it kind of bridges the gap between that book and the book that's going to follow, The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, because these characters are going to be in that next book. Honestly, considering how short it was a very well fleshed out story. Like genuinely a really cute love story between this girl who's trying to find a cure for this disease that's taken over like her village and stuff, and one of the ways that she thinks she can do that is by getting the blood of a vampire. So this vampire that lives on the outskirts of her village, she goes there and she visits him to give him a rose in exchange for taking his blood. She also has like an ex-boyfriend there who's just chaotic and random. He just inserts himself sometimes when he feels like it's necessary. Sure. I think I gave this book 4 stars. I'm okay with that opinion, and yeah, it was definitely good. The series is very promising. I'm very excited to read the next book in the series. The next book I finished was an audiobook, and that's Lessons in Chemistry. I think it's by Bonnie Jarmus. I'm not sure though, because I don't own the physical copy. I listened to this as an audiobook, but it will be displayed on the screen at some point somewhere. I really like this book. I think I also read this in the Reading Popular Books video. It was just a super like different kind of story to what I had been reading, because like it's set in the real world. I have been off in Fantasyland for a while now, but it takes place in the 50s, I think, and our main character, Elizabeth Zott, she is a chemist. The first half of the book is just about her being a woman in STEM and kind of the challenges that come along with that, and also she meets this guy Calvin who she works with in the lab, and they kind of work together on some projects. The second half of the book is about her getting this cooking show and how she at that time incorporated what she knows about chemistry into cooking and educating like women. She is a very, very interesting character because she has so many like brilliant just thoughts and opinions, and she's never going to like dull herself down for like the sake of anyone, and she's a very confident person, and I love that about her. And it was an interesting story to read, so I enjoyed that, and I think I gave that a 4 stars as well. The next book I read was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This is by Sanku Mandana. I think I'm saying that right, I'm not sure. This is about a witch in a world where witches are destined to be isolated. They're cursed that like the second they're born, like their parents are gonna die soon, and that they always have to be alone. So it's very weird when mysteriously this witch gets called to be a tutor for 3 witches, because how on earth are they all together? Like, that's crazy. And she has to kind of teach them to control their powers. The children are very interesting, and she gets to interact with a lot of the staff in this house, and so that includes a lot of really fun characters. Something unique about this book was that it's a urban fantasy / I don't know how urban it is, but it's a book with fantastical elements with like adults. Like the main character's in her 30s, her love interest is in his 30s. It's just like different. I'm used to them being like in their 20s or even like 18, 19. It was definitely like less relatable to me in that sense with some of the things that she was like going through, but it was still entertaining. It was still cute. The reason that I initially gave it 3 stars and then bumped it to 4 is the romance was not romancing, and then I bumped it to a 4 because I looked back and realized how much like I read it really quickly and I did really enjoy it. So like, who cares if I had some like problems with these other minor details in the book. And like, I don't think it's advertised as a romance, so I don't know how fair that is of me to even critique on. Definitely a very cute, cozy book for the fall time. So unfortunately, that's all I read this fall. And now I'm going to talk about my much more ambitious TBR for the winter time. Starting off, obviously, I have The Ashes in the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent. This book is going to be the one that follows The Serpent and the Wings of Night that I just read. This is just going to continue the story. There's not much I can like say about what I know about it without giving too many spoilers, but we're just getting to see much more of the main characters that we saw in the first book and learning much more about like a backstory and where they're going to end up in this world based on the horrible decisions that they made in the first book. Yeah, very excited to read this book. My mom has already finished this and I only hear good things, so I'm excited about that. So the next book on my TBR, my dad has been secretly placing at the top of my TBR pile on my desk or on my dresser, and he really wants me to read it. It's a book that I got him for his Father's Day gift. I got it because his favorite author is Stephen King, and I heard that this book was so amazing, even for people like who don't like horror. So I don't think it's very like horror based. I really don't know much about it, but that's Billy Summers, obviously by Stephen King. I really don't know much about it other than I think it's some like sniper going on some mission of some sort. But the cover is so cool. I love it. But at the same time, like, it looks like it's one of those books that you're gonna find in like the airport. So I guess I have to read that. So the next book in my TBR, I've been talking about this a lot, and I guess I should, when I talk about it, maybe put the cover back on, but Right now it's naked, it's always naked, but I'm halfway through Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. Yes, we all know about Iron Flame and how I am not done reading it, but I am busy, I'm sorry. I love that it's got the black sprayed edges on it, and this is going to continue the story of Fourth Wing, and we're seeing Violet in her second year with a lot more like challenges stemming from the staff at this place. Like, bruh, what are they doing? And we know that Xaden is being sent away to go and like be on the front lines at one of these outposts, but their dragons are mated, so they still get to see each other once a week. However, once again, these staff members keep separating them. I just got to the part where like Violet is like seriously getting harassed. Yeah, I don't know. Everyone's like not loving this book. I think that it was so slow in the beginning, but I'm getting to the point where it's like picking up, and I am thinking about it all the time, and I do want to pick it back up again. So I am excited to see where the story goes. The next book is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab up here. I haven't read it yet though either. So I really feel like the vibe of V.E. Schwab is just like dark academia and like these really like, I don't know, it's just like a vibe. I can't really explain it, but it really is dark academia. So I'm excited about that. Again, started a little bit. I keep talking about these two books, but like I just haven't picked them up. Like I talk about them and I don't pick them back up again. Page 65. This is about Eli and Victor, and they are scholars and they're doing their thesis on these extraordinaries, which are like unproven, and they're trying to like prove them and how they're created by trying to become extraordinaries themselves. So they are going about this journey, but we're getting the present and we're getting the past, and we're seeing where their relationship went wrong and why is one of them in jail and how did they get out of jail and what's going on. Not sure. Where's this rivalry coming from? Is it from this girlfriend? Is it because one of them is evil? One of them is holding secrets? I don't know, and I will find out soon. Okay, the next books on my TBR is The Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I'm so excited about this trilogy. Sounds so much fun and so cute, and everyone loves it. This is by Holly Jackson, and she has 3 books in this series, but she has many more books outside of this series if I do like it. So it's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and then As Good as Dead, which like the covers are so cool. Like this one has like the duct tape. I mean, this one just has like headphones, but this one has like the murder, like the where you're like solving crimes and you have the string. I don't know. Love. And I'm so excited about this because I see the characters all the time coming up on my feed, like cute little things about them. The next book and the last book of my TBR is by Ashley Poston, and this is The Dead Romantics. And I'm pretty sure this girl, like it's very short, I'm pretty sure this girl can just talk to dead people, and she tries to write a book with one of them. I'm pretty sure, like that's all I know, and I'm pretty much guessing that. And I feel like I'm running out of the seasonal like peak of when I should be reading this book, so I want to get on this very soon. Anyways, that is going to be all. So that is what I read for the fall and my TBR for the winter. One of them is much longer than the other. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope that you have enjoyed or like the idea of doing seasonal wrap-ups. I'm sure I did not come up with that idea, but I think it is a good one, and I think for slow readers we really need to be utilizing this. Hopefully I will see you in another video very soon. Bye!